Timer. Yeah. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and potential guests that may show up later. Tonight is going to be a very special meeting. It is our first Speak Out, and we're going to challenge ourselves. We're going to be speaking off the cuff, with the exception of Kenny, because she's the only one that's prepared, while the rest of us are just going to follow along. The goal is to speak up until we see the green card. All right, if at least you make it to that 5-minute mark, then you may make your closing statement. However, if you happen to feel super inspired that you want to continue until the 7 minutes, 30 seconds, you can do that too. That is the goal. The club mission, as usual, is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The key on personal growth, and this is why we're here. And tonight we're going to stretch ourselves beyond our imagination, right? So let's get on with this speech. And now let's do an inspirational thought. Hey, Mario, could you provide us with an inspirational thought? Give us a 1-minute inspirational thought.
You know what it is? It's funny, like when you surround yourself people who will take no for an answer. This is what happens.
You mean me?
Because I'm here stuck working. Like if you see my camera, I am working. I got
I see that.
Going. Yeah. I got a laptop.
I got it.
Working. But you know what's interesting today? There's a senior guy I'm helping to coach at work. He has to deliver it's a trader for the foreign exchange business at my company who I had met through a process. And it's interesting how we were connected. He's a black guy. He grew up in Australia and he lives in the UK right now. And he has a charity which he is looking for. He and his wife had the same challenge that my kids had, trying to find books for our children that had people that represented, that looked like us. So black books that had people reflected in positive images. And it's interesting that he has a charity event that focuses on that. And he was asking me to help him. How does he present? Because he's a great trader, but he's not a great speaker, and I've been helping him to kind of put together his messages. And what I see is there's a lot of similarities between how we are here, just our lives together. And it's funny how you connect with people who I think are often like-minded. And it is just, so my encouragement to you today is to just not be afraid to share your story, because your story may mirror or reflect what other people are experiencing. So that connection about books, and as Charnette remembers, my daughter did a speech around books that were banned, because there's a lot of books that are about us, that look like us, that people don't accept into the mainstream because it's viewed as different. So it is amazing how we have such common experiences. You just have to open yourself up and share your stories about what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, and you may make lasting and really good connections. So just wanted to share that thought with you. Just be transparent and continue to share your story.
Thank you, Mario. I love you. You can go to work now.
Okay, thank you. I'll still be here, but I'm working.
Okay, thank you. Speech number 1 will be delivered by Kehinde Adewuyi. Now, I don't know the title or the purpose. I would like you to introduce yourself in the most dynamic way possible.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I will be speaking on the title of my speech today is Finding My Leadership Style, and that is from Pathways Level 3, Dynamic Leadership. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Finding my leadership style has been an interesting journey. As we all know, I recently accepted a district office role as the Area 54 director. It has been a great transition in the sense that it requires a lot of time, but I'm meeting a lot of fun people too. It requires me to make 2 visits in a year to each club, and I have 6 clubs that I'm looking after. So far, so good. I have completed 4 club visits in this month, and I have 2 to go. That will be in a couple days from now. In about a week from now, I will be visiting my 5th club, and in a couple weeks from now, I will be visiting the last club. It has been a great commitment on my part, especially because all the clubs are in North Jersey. As we all know, as our governor has signed this as recognized Central New Jersey into the law a couple days ago. So from Central to North Jersey, it's a long way to go and it's a long drive. At least I have to drive 40 minutes out to go visit my club. But it has been a great reward, and it has opened my eyes to see how other people run their club and to meet interesting people like Joe, which he told me that he has done my position 3 times. So he gave me good confidence. But this speech is not about me being an area director. It is about another club or another team that I'm leading. Apart from Toastmaster, I'm also the head of a new team, Yazim social media team. Yazim, spelled YASM. It stands for Young Adults and Single Ministry. It is a national platform for my church, the Redeemed Christian Church of God. I'm in charge of their social media, so part of my responsibility is to post regularly, communicate any event or any changes or any activities that is coming up, and also support other local young adult ministry through our platform. The social media group is part of a larger group, which is the Yazim communication team. For so long, for a couple years now, I have been the only person in social media team, in the social media department. I had to do whatever I feel like doing, not whatever I feel like doing, but at least I still have some control about what I post, how I design my posts, when do I schedule the post out. It has always been me, but it was also stressful at the same time. But recently, we just built a new team in the social media. Then I have to be the lead of that team. It has really been a high opener for me in terms of realizing what my leadership style is. Leadership style refers to the behavioral approach employed by a leader to influence, motivate, and direct their team members. There are different types of leadership style. We have the bureaucratic leadership style, which is leading by rules and regulation. We have the authoritative, which leaders give a clear and set standard. We have the motivative style or leadership style, which leaders share their vision and future and promote innovation. We also have the pace setting, which leaders set the high standard of performance and lead by example. And we have so many other leadership styles. But for me, I realized that pace setting is something that is very close to what I am today, which is leading by setting a high standard and also leading by example. You know what? One thing I realized about myself is any team I want to lead, I lead based on example. I lead based on example and show people that if you are not doing it, I'm going to do it. And I'm not scared to do it. In my new role, I have learned something. I have learned so much in such a short period of time. And based on my leadership role, I have used 4 qualities to set a standard for the new team, which is directing the team members on what they are expected to do, coaching them and showing them what to do, supporting them and providing in terms of providing the tools and apps that they need to perform their work well, and delegating tasks to them and put all those and share all the burdens I do have with them. In conclusion, it is important to know your leadership style. And if you have not, Toastmaster Leadership Dynamic Pathways is a good way to start to know your leadership style because it helps you, it gives you confidence and it helps you to lead a team and have a productive result. Thank you for listening. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Kenny. Excellent job. So now we will give her a round robin. Shawnette, give a few pointers to Kenny regarding her speech. How did you feel about it? Any improvements and so on?
Thank you, Madam President, and Kenny and fellow Toastmasters. Kenny, I love that you have become. From the first time I heard you speak, and now you have developed into a wonderful presenter. I love you stepping out of your 4 corners and taking on that leadership goal as area director, working with the club and outside of the club, which I really, really am proud of you for doing. And I implore you in encouraging you to encourage others to step outside those 4 walls, not to just stay in this Impact 21 club, but to go outside as you are doing, going into the director's field and continue on, because this is what help you continue to grow as a leader. You went through the steps of how you became involved in your leadership. What I would have liked you to do is to be more persuasive. I didn't hear that deep persuasive voice in you to persuade us because you're doing wonderful things. Margarita, now what's going to be your next step after being president of Impact 21? Are you going to become an area director, get involved into the directorship in the organization? Carla, what else are you going to do outside of just being a member in Impact and part of the executive committee? But what are you going to do outside these 4 walls? So convince us and to persuade us that you're becoming a leader, for us to step out of those 4 walls and to become leaders as well. But I think you did a phenomenal job, Kenny, in your presentation. Keep on motivating people, but give a little stronger vocal variety. That's what we need. Some stronger vocal variety, because that's what gets your speech into some conviction. So that's what I want to see next in your speech, to show more conviction with your vocal variety. Outstanding, and thank you for that leadership presentation.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shawnette. Caller, a few pointers for Kenny.
Sure. Okay, Kenny, I really enjoyed that speech because you were so relaxed. You didn't speak quickly. Sometimes when you would give your other speeches, you would rush through it. You were so relaxed. So I was relaxed with you. And I really was able to listen to every single word that you said. And I was very interested in not only that you were area director, I was like, wow, area director. And then you had to go to 6 different clubs who are so far away and have to make time for that. And I know you have a life other than the speech life. So I was very interested in that. And I thought in the beginning that you were going to talk about the characters in the other clubs. And then you switched it up on me. And you said, no, 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 no. That helps me, but I'm really going to talk to you about how I realized my leadership style from my church position. I was like, oh, so that made me lean in more. So I appreciated that U-turn kind of that you took. The only comment that I would have is that you ended it with in conclusion. And that made me say, oh, it's ending now. I wish you hadn't said in conclusion and just took me to the conclusion. That's the only thing that I have. And Sharnette is right. You do speak nice and calm, very clear. Some vocal variety would, make perk me up, like kind of make me feel guilty. What am I gonna do? But I was very, very impressed with everything that you said, and I definitely leaned in. So it was very engaging.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Carla, for your input in Kenny's speech. Dorcas, do you have anything to say?
I'm
Dorcas?
trying to, yeah, I'm here and I'm timing as well. So,
That's okay.
Yeah.
Kate on.
basically, I'm gonna say, Kenny, you have improved from the Kenny that I knew when you started Toastmasters a couple of years ago. I love the fact that you have come to understand your audience better, and as you write your speeches, you're putting that into consideration, who your audience is. Who your audience is, and how to convey your message to the audience. This is an appropriate audience because you're talking leadership here. What I would have wanted to see in that speech was more of what the transformation that has gone on within you. You did highlight a couple, like, oh, you were a leader in Yazim. I know Yazim, meaning that we attend the same church. So I know Yazim, and you were all by yourself, so you weren't leading anybody. So that's nothing to talk about, actually. But you still went on to talk about the fact that you had some level of control. I like that because leadership also includes control, and you were able to manage that. I love the fact that you talked about you building up a new team, but I wanted to hear more about what you have done with that team and what is the difference between when you were by yourself and now that you have a team. What lessons have you learned when you didn't have a team and when you have a team? So if anyone who has no one to lead is just taking a stroll, but if you have someone to lead, then you're a leader. So what exactly are, those transformation, did you learn? That is what I would have loved to hear in the speech. Other than that, I think you have improved tremendously. Congratulations, Kenny.
Excellent, Dorcas. So ditto on all the comments. I would just like to add a few pointers. Whenever you mentioned the leadership style, you said, we have this, we have that, we have that. Just say, I have X amount of leadership styles. This is number 1, number 2, number 3. Because it's almost like, don't use that repetitive phrase, we have this leadership style, we have that leadership style. Just name the style and describe it. And that's all you need to do there. John Maxwell has a saying that goes like this: if you don't have anyone to lead, lead yourself. And that's a very important quote to remember, because there are times that we really don't have anyone to lead, right? But it's said that you know a leader by how they are when they're by themselves. What do they do when they're by themselves? Are they busy? Or are they watching TV? Are they making plans? Or are they hanging out with friends? Right? So in other words, you start training to lead yourself first, so that this way, when you have your team to lead, then at that point, you're using all that skill, right? So in order to lead, if you have nobody to lead yourself. And that's very important to remember. I also enjoyed how you aligned your church responsibilities together with what Toastmasters has taught you. And that was very interesting to see how you align the two. So other than that, Kenny, great job, baby. Good job. Good job.
Thank
All right. So the next speaker, so Shawnette and Carla, do you need more time? Because then I'll deliver mine if you're okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good?
to go
All
now.
right, so Shawnette, please introduce yourself and your dynamic circle in any way you would like. And go ahead, deliver your speech.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How many of you have heard of the organization called Impactability? That's spelled capital IMPACT, small letters ABILITY. And I will put the information in the chat after my presentation. Impactability USA is an organization which I am a board member of. What do? We are an organization that mentors, give workshops for CUNY students, the University of New York students with disabilities. And what is our purpose? Our main purpose is to get these students with disabilities ready for the career and professional world. What do we do in Impactability? Before COVID, we were meeting in person at John Jay College, at CUNY Gutman. And what we would do is we would meet with the organization mentors along with the students from the schools. We would have different workshops. And being that we're doing things virtually now because of COVID, we would have different presentations, teaching them skills, time management skills, goal setting skills, for success skills, resume writing skills, their 30 seconds pitch. These are things that we are teaching them so when they get out there to do interviews, and we do mock interviews, that they are prepared to go to an organization, a company, and to be, or even if they're doing an internship, to be able to speak proficiently, to be prepared with a resume that will just be outstanding so it doesn't go into the round file. We know what the round file is. If they read a couple of sentences and they don't like it, it goes in the trash can. So we prepare them to have outstanding resumes, to set goals. In addition, to be able to be prepared for the career world, depending on what their disability is, and to learn that with their disability, that they are to reveal certain things to their prospective jobs and not to reveal things that are not necessary. For instance, if they need certain things to do their job effectively because of their disability, how they can just express the things that they would need with their disability. To dress appropriately for their job. To be able to have an interview so that that interviewer will call them back. So these are things that we do at Impactability. We are up for a grant, a $3,000 grant. I sent you guys, all of you members and all my social media people, information on how to go and vote every day up until September 15th. And the different organizations that were up for an award, we are part of that potential awardees. And if we get selected, then we will get that grant. We are also having a gala with all the different organizations. What this organizational gala will be in New York in October, to just show the different organizations that are doing outstanding work in their community. Students with disabilities, we are also getting them to get out there and get their names out there, and to also, with the ones that are still in school, to talk about disability accessibilities in their school and in the workforce. Because believe it or not, a lot of the schools are not accessible for students or individuals with disabilities. Just some schools or places don't have ramps for wheelchair users. The bathrooms have to be set up so that the bathrooms are wide enough for someone that has a wheelchair accessibility to be able to go into the stalls. To have different visual accessibilities for those with visual needs. So these are the things that we work with the students so that they are definitely prepared. We also work with companies to give them awareness that their companies should have different things and disabilities for these individuals. So when they come into their workplace, they can make it accessible for them, and that they will be in a comfortable environment, an environment that is safe for them as well. So I want you to Google, and I will put it in the chat afterward with our impactability link, so you can learn more about this. And not just for my organization, but for any organization that you're in, to bring awareness to that organization or that job that you need to be accessible to individuals. Impactability USA is a wonderful organization that I'm glad that I joined. I will put the link in the chat for you to get information. We also take donations. The donation helps us to continue our funding so that we can continue bringing in more students and giving more awareness to student disabilities. So I hope that you would go into that link, look more on the Impactability site, and see the wonderful things we're doing. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shawnette, for that wonderful speech on impactability. Excellent job. So, Carla, could you give Shawnette a few words as far as about her speech?
Sure. All right, Sharnette. Thank you for letting me know about impactability. I seem to remember you talking about this in another speech, specifically about the students, the disabled students. But you talked about it in a different way and not about the foundation. So it was interesting that you said that you're happy that you joined the foundation, and that it just made me think, it reminded me about the other speech. So I'm thinking that there might be a disconnect in the sense that you didn't start with, I joined this great foundation, impactability, and let us know about it. So that was a disconnect for me. You always speak flawlessly. You always speak as if you wrote the speech a couple of days ago and been practicing it. So that I cannot fault you for. But it's you jumped, and I lost what was the relationship with impactability. That was the only thing that I can think of. That's it for me.
Okay, Carla, thank you. Hey, Kenny?
Yes, thank you, Shanette, for that speech. It was really an informative speech about Impactability USA. And what a wonderful speech. One thing I just want to point out is I think it would be nice for you to measure your role in that organization, what you actually do. I believe everybody will still everybody's working towards one goal, but about impacting students with disabilities. But it will be nice to know what your particular role is and how you contribute to that organization. Thank you, and nice speech.
Thank you so much. Cindy, would you like to say a few words about Shanette's speech? Is she there? Oh, maybe she's not there. Maybe she's just a picture there. Hey, Dorcas, would you like to say a few words about Shanette's speech?
Hi, Shanette. I think I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Carla just said. It looks like you wrote the speech sometime. Like it's not like an off the curve speech. It looks like a prepared speech, and you're always amazing. I don't know how you do that, but you're amazing. I love the fact that you're supporting a credible course. That is something I always love to do. I appreciate the fact that the speech to me was well organized. I couldn't floor it either because you have everything like step by step, everything in order. Whatever we need to know about impactability, you had it embedded in that speech, incorporated in that speech. Told us about what you do, your target audience, meeting schedule, what your focus is, and what the end results are. The students will become, at the end of the day, how they, when it comes to resume writing, that skill will be, it would be able to acquire those skills, teacher skills. And I love everything you talked about tonight. If I'm going to say what you're going to improve on, maybe just tell us about someone that impactability has helped in the past. And that would somehow help me more to appreciate what you're doing. Really. Thank you so much, Jeanette.
Thank you so much, Dorcas and Carla. My comment is that you keep on looking to your right rather than that. Is that because that's where your camera is? Is that why you keep looking to the right? Okay, because I find that because when you look to the right, you tend to lose us. And I think that somehow you have to adjust your camera so that you're looking directly at us so that this way you don't lose your audience. But other than that, I echo everybody else's comments on your speech. I felt that it was well put together, very informative, and it showed the passion that you have as part of this organization. And I think Cindy is coming in.
Yeah,
Would you like to say a few words to Shawnette?
just a couple, and I do apologize. I'm still in my car. So it's the lighting isn't quite the way one wants it, but hey, we'll take it from there. Sharnette, it was a very good speech, but I would like to caution you on repeatability. And maybe that's it, the word ability, because you said disability so many times it became repetitive. You could still have the impact in your speech, but not say disability so many times. I started counting. It was like an odd counter, but I believe that you do have the impact. It's just that the word ability showed up so many times that it was becoming repetitive, like it was a crutch word. And I know you are a great speaker. So I know if you did this speech over again, you would find a way to not have to say disability so many times. But great information and thank you.
Excellent. We know that Mario is busy. He's listening to the meeting, but he's very busy. So
I thought Shauna did a fabulous job of sharing something that she's passionate about. It's funny because I remember seeing the link and I've gone to the website to vote and I voted for impactability because there's a lot of, I think you're like number 3, so your numbers you're going 4 now. Okay, so I guess I got to go get back on and do some more voting.
me too.
But it's great to see that you found a cause that you're so passionate about and supporting, and I realize people find things that they really connect with. I can see and I understand why you connect with it, which is a beautiful thing. So thank you for sharing your passion and just motivating others to get involved. I didn't have anything particularly because I was more listening, that I heard that you could do better because I thought it was well structured, well communicated, and it just again shows that you're speaking from the heart. when you're talking about things like this. So it's great to hear. Thank you. Can I offer one
thank-
thought for Kenny? I was gonna say
Yes.
for just, but Kenny, you ended your speech by telling the audience, thank you. And after doing such a fabulous job, just being amazing at speaking, it is we who need to hoist you on our shoulders and thank you rather than to
Yeah.
have you say thank you. So just one thought. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Mary. See, he can't resist. Even
Thank
though
you
he's
for that
moving.
feedback as well. And Colin, and I agree with your final statement because I had a little time, but I was trying to look back and forth. But my mentee that I put in the chat, yes, I could have mentioned more about how I helped and developed her. So thank you, because I'm going to utilize that in my next presentation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shawnette, for your speech. I tell you, we're hearing some good stuff today. We really are. So, Carla, are you ready to deliver yours? Do you need a little more time? Because I'll deliver mine.
Please deliver yours.
Okay, because it was one that I started to work on. It's not fully developed, but it's okay. I am Margarita Estrada, and I'm so excited to deliver the speech tonight. It is entitled, Why? Why is this happening to us? Why is the world in such turmoil? Is this a sign of the end of days? These why questions confound us every day, right? In Lahaina, Maui, they are asking themselves these questions as they try to make sense of what fires gone amok have done to their homes. Some may even look up to the heavens and say, is there really a God? And if there is, why did he allow these things to happen? Let's look at the conditions that may have contributed to this disaster. According to National Geographic, many ecosystems benefit from periodic wildfires because they clear out dead organic material, and some plant and animal populations require the benefits that fire brings to survive and reproduce. So now we have established that wildfires, every now and then, are a normal occurrence. Lahaina is a sacred site for Native Hawaiians. Its original name was Manu'onu Olale, land of the passion fruit. In the 19th century, it served as a burial place for the Hawaiian royal family and was the first capital of the Hawaiian kingdom. It was also the home of King Kamehameha from 1810 to 1845. In 1835, American colonizers diverted the supply of waters that supported the area to the sugarcane plantations and dried up the waters of the sacred areas of Lahaina. It was important for me to share some of the history of the area so that you can understand, first, what Lahaina means to Native Hawaiians, what it means to Native Hawaiians, and second, past actions that laid the foundation that led to the disaster that they are now experiencing. Fast forward to the 21st century. Global warming is causing unforeseen drought conditions, which are causing wildfires all over the world, including Maui. When the fires began, it was taken by officials as a normal wildfire occurrence. What they didn't expect was that the winds of Hurricane Dora would cause the fires considered normal to spread at a fast clip. Men, women, and children died or were left homeless. Those that survived said that the sirens were never activated, that by the time evacuation instructions were delivered, it was too late. Chairwoman Lindsay of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs says, the fires of today are due to the climate crisis, a history of colonization, and the loss of our right to steward our land and water. Right now, Disaster capitalists are salivating because they see this disaster as an opportunity to buy people out of their properties. A quote from the Washington Post article entitled Native Hawaiians Organize Aid for Maui Fire Victims as Government Lags said, and I quote, the displacement of Native Hawaiians is a particularly acute concern now, as much of the island has been targeted for gentrification, driving up the cost of living and forcing many Hawaiians to move to mainland cities like Las Vegas. And of course, the article was very long. But after reading this article, the question that comes to my mind is, was this really a natural disaster? Governor Green said, I will try to allow no one from outside our state to buy any land until we get through this crisis and decide what Lahaina should be in the future. Please don't approach anyone to buy land. Please don't approach their families to tell them that they're going to be better off if they make a deal. This sounds all too familiar to me because disaster capitalists landed on Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, the tremors, and Hurricane Fiona, and in Southwest Florida, particularly Fort Myers and Cape Coral, where my family lives after Hurricane Ian. In my opinion, lack of compassion for our Mother Earth and our fellow men, women, and children is what causes these disasters. How can we expect Mother Earth not to react when radioactive waste and other garbage are dumped into her rivers and streams, when her forests are depleted to the deforestation, and when fossil fuels are burning out her ozone layer? Mother Earth will retaliate if she is abused to restore her balance. But right now, she's telling us, I can't breathe. In addition, people being brought out of their homes after natural disasters means that they will migrate to other cities and countries. While we cannot do anything about disaster capitalists or governments that sell themselves to them, we can take meaningful steps to help our Mother Earth. I'd like to suggest 3 actions. 1, eat 1 meatless meal per day. According to bluezones.com, if you eat just 1 plant-based meal a day for a year, you'll save almost 200,000 gallons of water. That's 11,400 showers. And the pollution equivalent to about 3,000 miles driven in your car, roughly from LA to New York City. 2, reduce food waste. Only buy what you're going to consume. How many of us throw food away every single day, right? Make sure you buy only what you want to consume. And 3rd, contribute to more green space. Plant a seed, plant a tree. Our Mother Earth needs it. Native Hawaiians, like all indigenous nations, accept their responsibility to care for our Mother Earth. For them, nature is a sacred healing space for body, mind, and spirit. As Keike o Ka'aina, or children of the land, they believe that all living things are interconnected and feel a strong responsibility to care for nature. Instead of asking, why is this happening to us? Why is the world in such turmoil? Is this a sign of the end of days? Let's take responsibility and follow the teachings and examples of our indigenous nations. Because, in my opinion, it is our only hope for survival. Thank you. I know that took a little bit long, but all right.
Okay, I'll go first.
Good.
You gave a lot of facts in that speech, Margarita. I know you said you were preparing it from before, but I always wondered when people give speeches with facts, how do they keep them straight? So I'm in awe of that because I would always, if I'm giving a speech, I give all my facts in the beginning while I still remember them. then I continue. So one day I'd like to talk to you about that. So I'm in awe of that. The words, and I probably don't know the Hawaiian words correctly, but I know it's a speech of practicing, but I say they didn't come naturally to you,
Okay.
and it showed. So that's that, and I don't know Hawaiian, but I could tell that they were not easy for you to say.
Oh, no, I have to practice, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the two things.
Okay,
Can I go now?
absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was still in the car. It was a great speech. I love the references. Your Hawaiian wasn't that bad. Consider this is the person who knows how to say the name of the the state fish. So I understand totally what you were saying. You were getting there. You're a little nervous, but you still were clear enough to understand that those were the Hawaiian words. I loved the way you took the part for Mother Earth, and you were doing the crying out for Mother Earth in her pain that she's had enough of this, and I need to start over again. And also your cautions of the aftermath of the quote unquote carpetbaggers who will show up after a disaster to try to buy what's happening. And your example of what happened in Puerto Rico was very poignant. Absolutely wonderful, Margarita. Is that one of the speeches that you're going to be giving in September?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been working on that, and mind you, I cut it a lot. I cut it a lot. More. Thank you. Thank you so much. Shannon?
I'm going to piggyback off of what Carla said, because whenever you're giving statistics or facts and you're giving a presentation, you want to be on cue and be positive about what you're saying and correct. And you did that with such perfection. So I applaud you for that as well, because I'm sitting here listening to all the different stats and information you're giving us, and it didn't seem like you had to stumble or to really, even if you were reading them from something, I couldn't tell, because it was just so inviting to your audience, connected with your audience. And that's one of your assets as a speaker, that you definitely always connect with your audience. I would like to see, even if I know this was an impromptu meeting because we were doing our speeches off the cuff, but if you're doing this presentation, I would like to see either a PowerPoint or some type of information that we can see, because I'm a very visual person, about even what Cindy was saying, the wordage of the fish and some of the statistics that you stated. You could put pictures, a PowerPoint or something, or flashes or something, so that we can remember what you're saying. That's the only enhancement opportunity, but fantastic job. I
Thank
love
you.
listening to it.
Yes. Kenny?
Thank you, Margarita, for that speech. I definitely learned something on how to help the climate, and also um, how to help like with global warming. One thing I will want to say is that the title "Why," you did a good job in the at the beginning as to like why is this happening to us, but I felt like you should like try to incorporate like reinstate the why or the reason at the middle of it, because I was wondering where you, because you were giving all the statistic, you were giving all this history. I was like, okay, so what does it have to do with why, like the topic? And you mentioned it in the conclusion, but I would love you to like reinstate the why, like the topic in the middle of it, so it's you're still connecting with your topic and also with the audience. Thank you.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. Dorcas?
2 seconds. I'm here. Okay, so everything I have down here, I think someone has mentioned. I have it first. This is informative. I would have wished that you could put it in a PowerPoint because it had so much information. I lost it at a point. I'm not one like I am also visual like Shanette and would like to see that in a PowerPoint. I love the fact that you have selected a great topic because climate change is hot and it is trending as well. And everyone is trying to seek answers to climate change. And you have in the speech preferred, if I can say that, hopefully people use your those recommendations that this is what we want you to do. If you could do this, then we would have a better environment. And I love again, piggyback on what Cindy said. I love those beautiful phrases that you used when you talked about Mother Earth. She's crying out. And love how you personified her, saying Mother Earth says, I can't breathe. I mean, something really is going on. I love that because it does convey a message to your audience that there is an urgent need to help Mother Earth. I like that as well. And also, let me see another. Yeah, I think basically that is what I have. It was a great speech. It was informative, had so much stat in it. It would be great to see it visually. That would be great. And it's informative. It does tell us what we should do. Hopefully we do it and the earth will be able to breathe. Thanks, Margarita.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, Carla, are you ready for yours?
Ready or
Jump,
not,
rock and roll.
here I jump.
Jump. Go ahead, Carla, take it away. Introduce yourself in your most dynamic way possible, and then run with it. I should say jump with it.
Jump right.
Jump.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters, this is Carla Alvarez, and I'm giving a speech entitled Stretching Beyond the Beyond. Carla Alvarez, Stretching Beyond the Beyond. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you an update. About a year ago, this past month, I told you about a program that my company started specifically as a result of what happened with George Floyd and the social unrest. My company is originated out of Australia, and I'd say they are 90% white males. It's a construction company. I am an engineer, and it's a construction and development and construction management company. It's international, and they decided that in light of what happened, there was an outcry as to why is this happening? And they turned left in the boardroom, they turned right in the boardroom, and they realized they had nobody there that could relate. So they started looking within the company to see, oh, who can we promote to bring up to executive level? And they realized, wow, we don't think we have anybody here either. They did a executive search. They still came up empty. And their reasons was these people don't know and don't take these jobs, or they don't want these jobs. They want to be comfortable where they are. But the board of directors challenged them to say, no, you have 2% people of color in your companies. Find out why we can't get somebody up at this level. So they started a program called Mosaic. It was a 10-month program. They invited me and I said yes. Now, the scary thing about saying yes is that I've been spending the past 18 years under the radar, doing my job wonderfully, very skilled, always having high ratings on my reviews. But people at that level really didn't know who I was. When I accepted to go on Mosaic, it was all virtual. I met tons of people who look like me, who experienced the same thing like me. They got to be experts in their craft, but not moving up and down the ladder because their managers loved that they were good at their craft and pigeonholed them and said, oh man, this is my girl. if this happens, I got her, and so they would go from job to job to job just doing that. Whenever they'd say, oh, I want to do something better, there was always a reason why. No, you've got kids and you can't do that time. Or, oh, they really need you here. Oh, you're the best, you're the queen, or you're the king, or something like that. And we only realized that when this company was a third-party company, put us together and put us in chat groups and started to have us talk to each other and ask the right questions. They were awesome facilitators. So the other thing we realized is that, wow, they really do know that we're all here, because how else could they point us all out? And so now we're no longer beneath the radar. So some of the outcomes from that session, the one thing that they said was, what do you want? And what are you willing to do to get it? We all looked at each other, and right away, I was able to say that very clearly, but not about the job, about what I want in life, but what I really want to do to get it. And that program forced me to realize, what do I want to do with this job? So the expectations when we left the program is that I wanted an executive sponsor that maybe I knew or didn't know, but that would help me understand the business from helicopter view, because I'm always looking at the business from day to day. I wanted an executive sponsor that would be committed and not just tell me yes, 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 and then I would never see them again. And then I wanted to continue to meet people who were outside of my project group and that did different things in the event I wanted to switch my job or either go lateral or up. And more importantly for me, I wanted to teach, because I'm kind of a unicorn in my company. I bridge engineering and finance. And I realized there are nobody of me. I'm the only one in the company. And I know what I do is so pivotal for that company. I wanted to be able to teach it so we could grow, so I could have a lot of me's, and maybe I could be a director of me's, a bunch of me's running around, kind of create my position. So the outcomes, I got a phenomenal executive sponsor. I got the CEO of the Northeast region for construction and development. He was very committed. He committed to meeting me once a month. As a matter of fact, we set the calendar for a year, and he never missed a meeting. He is very personable, very authentic. He realizes that the company is not doing what it should be doing, and he says he's not really sure that they even want to. That's how frank he was. And he said that I should get everything that I want from the company, even if I'm going to take it away someplace else. That's how I should think of it. Don't just think of it for the company, but think of it for myself. And he told me how he got there, and he encouraged me, and he advocated for me in rooms where I wasn't, in the sense that he pushed me to write a program, not a computer program, but a workshop program, rehearse it with him, basically teach him. And then he started shopping my name and my program to other projects. I completed the first workshop this past month. And my Toastmasters skills came in very handy. I was very comfortable, prepared, asking questions and answers. A great workshop. A lot of the engineers and construction managers understood. The only thing I was lacking in is my PowerPoint skills. Not so good. If you remember some of the speeches that I did, I would press forward or backwards. I was like, have to go back, stop the program. So some of those things I still have to work on. And I have to say, what do I want? I think I got what I want. I'm definitely stretching myself beyond the beyond, because one of the big results is I was elected to be the co-chair for the Black Forum, ERG, at my job, which is definitely not below the radar. It's right up there with the execs. You go to meetings with them. You have to represent people of color in your company, because we have other meetings. I have to listen to what they want and report up. So it's kind of scary, because Before nobody knew who I was. I was just getting a paycheck. Now a lot of people know who I am and I have to represent. So that's my report.
Paula, that is amazing. Your speech was filled with so much, not only emotion, inspiration, the clawing yourself up from the bottom. There's just so much in there. I mean, I felt the emotion, particularly when you said, certain things that you said, like how sometimes managers feel that you are so good that they don't want you to move. They'll compliment you like crazy so that they keep you, and you feel guilty in a way in moving up. I remember one time one of my friends, Jean Singh, said, "Don't let guilt stop you from progress." He said, "Don't let guilt stop you from progress," because sometimes we feel a certain loyalty, right? But loyalty always holds us back. So this is a perfect demonstration of that. How when your mentor told you to stretch yourself beyond whatever you learn, don't think about just the company, think about where you want to take it for yourself. So thank you for
Exactly.
that. I tell you, I loved every single part of your speech. So thank you so much. And next, to my right, Shawnette.
Okay, Carla, I love the inspiration because, as Margarita said, we are scared to take that dive. We'll take our feet into the pool or the lake, but we'll only go not even ankle length. You went in and you dived in and you took those waves. And you said, even if those waves are going to knock me down, I'm going to get back on that surfboard and I'm going to start surfing. And that's what you did. And that's what I loved about your presentation, because that's what great leaders do. Even though they may falter or they're scared to take that next step in life, or leading someone, or even making a change in something, you did it. You went in and you went in full force, even though you was scared to do it, and you just decided, I'm going to do it. Because you're not only making a difference for yourself, you're making a difference for the corporation, the company, and the other minorities, blacks or Hispanics or whoever's in the organization, to kind of get them to let them learn about diversity, because that's what they need. And so I appreciate that. One enhancement opportunity that I was looking to hear, because you said one of your kind of weaknesses was the PowerPoint. I want to hear what you're going to do about it. I'm getting someone that knows PowerPoint, and I'm going to sit with them so they can teach me and help assist you. And I will be one to step out of my zone and help you do that as well. Okay. So that's what I was looking for you to say. Well, I'm going to look for a mentor to help me be proficient in my PowerPoint skills. So I wanted to hear that from you, and I didn't hear that part. But otherwise, outstanding. And if you need assistance with the PowerPoint, I'm here.
I'll take you up on it.
Hey, Cindy has her hand raised. So Cindy, take it away.
Okay, I just wanted to say that as I was walking to get into the house, I sat down on the steps to listen to Carla, because I could identify with where she was and what she discovered. Because you're one of those been there, done that type things. I just was just totally in awe of your presentation, Carla, because it really did bring back some memories, if you will, about how you needed to get from under the radar to above the radar to the sky. And your presentation showed that you were going to take that journey to the sky. And I wanted to encourage you to continue to work on that and do that. And, that pigeonholing, and I apologize for the, pigeonholing because of your expertise, again, I felt that and lived that for many years. When they tell me that you have 3 top performers, but they all can't be the Black women, you realize that there are some who just don't want to see you succeed. And when anybody can tell you that there is no one who's interested, that means that they did not look. And that was one of the realizations that one of the executive VPs at the company I worked for, who was the only Black person there, realized that the HR people were doing. They weren't looking because he looked and he found. So I want to continue to encourage you. Keep it up. You go, girl. 'Cause I can see you in that C-suite one of these days. Back to you.
Excellent. Kenny, next.
Wonderful speech, Carlo. Was very informative, and also I remember your last speech. I think I mean it was wonderful. So, and I like the fact that how you connected Toastmasters and how it has helped you with the program that you are in charge of when you created. That's a good encouragement for everybody. Like Toastmaster helps you beyond just the cloud. You can also help you professionally. But wonderful speech, and I would love to. I'm looking forward to hear the impact that you have made over at the company in your next speech. Thank you.
Dorcas?
2 seconds.
Not a problem. I know that you,
Because I
you're
still
playing
have
double duty
time.
here. I know.
Okay, so caller, I thought this was a very great speech. It had so many moving parts. The fact that you had to talk about what was happening with the C-suite people looking around and didn't see someone they could turn to when there was a very critical situation on ground. I love the fact that you took the bull by the horn, and in an environment that does not celebrate people of color, that was very, very phenomenal, if I could use that word. There is something actually I want to point out to you, the fact that you mentioned someone who made an impact in your life, but you kept on using the pronoun he.
Mm,
When people transform your life, you want to use every opportunity to celebrate them.
okay.
His name is important because it did something great in your life. So the he. I didn't know who E is. It could be Mario for all I care. He's the only E that shows up in our meeting. So so he could be your brother. He could be anyone. How about giving him the opportunity? If he were here today, he would have wanted to know that he was the he. Celebrate people who make an impact in your life. And at the end of your speech, you said to the audience, that's my report. Oh, come on, caller, you know better. What report? You gave a powerful speech and told us your report. I know it was, this was kind of like off the curve, but yes, not your report. This is who you are. This is who you have become. And you're going there and you're going to get there, caller. Congratulations on that speech.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody gave me some really good pointers. Thank you very, very much.
Amazing. That's why I'm so glad that we did this tonight, because sometimes it's important to shift the script a little bit and to be able to come up with something unique and different and that adds value. And I feel that tonight, the way this meeting went, I would say that it was one of the best meetings that we have had, because we were able to do round robin evaluations, and each one of us just took that opportunity to just jump and to speak. I would say, so what did you all think about the meeting tonight? What did you all think?
It was good. I was scared. I won't lie.
Uh-huh.
But it was good.
Uh-huh. Mario.